Afternoon folks, how we doing? Welcome back to another lockdown special. So start of the season and hopefully get back. As I said before, we're going to be looking at buzzers, and we're going to be looking at some of the biggest buzzers of the season, the biggest buzzer species. And this particular one I'm going to be tying here for you right now is called the grey boy, and it's early season Grafham, Rutland, Pittsford, all the Midlands reservoirs, on the small waters as well, Chigborough, Walthamstow, etc. This is one of the biggest buzzer species, and you will find these in the stomach samples of all the trout over, hopefully, from March through April through May. Excellent point fly. It's quite a heavy fly, quite a bulky fly. So let's crack on. The hook for this. Let's get started. The hook for this is a B110 in size 10, Kamasan. It's quite a heavy grub hook, basically. Curved hook, straight hooks for buzzers. Well, for nearly all my buzzers I like straight hooks. For this one particular fly I prefer a curved hook. It just seems to suit the pattern better, if you ask me. Hence the curved hook. And I will tie these all the way up to big size 8s, because these buzzers do get really big. Ideally it's a point fly, so I want it nice and bulky. So the thread for this is an 8/0 black, so let's just get that onto there. Folks, as always, if you enjoy the videos and you like watching, please click like and click subscribe, and it all helps. It means you'll get notified of when I put out my next videos. It costs you nothing, and it just helps me along the way. Thanks very much. Right, so the rib for this, it's a black and white or a black and cream buzzer. It's got a very light ribbing around it, very grey ribbing. So we're going to be using a cream Spanflex as the rib for this. So we're just going to catch this in up here, just so that it doesn't mess the profile up, and then just stretch that out and follow it all the way down with the best you can with touching turns all the way down the back of the hook. You can use white. I find cream to be not quite as bright. It seems to work, in my opinion. Do you know what? I don't think the trout will notice. We give them too much credit, these fish. It's more about where you're fishing it in the water, to be honest. So just up and down, and then once more up and down, just to get a bit of thread on there. That'll do it. That's fine. Okay, finish off up here somewhere. So we're coming back up the fly in opposite turns, just nice open turns. A little bit of tension to start with on that Spanflex, so it just helps us get a profile, and then start working that way around up the fly. Start opening it up as you come up. That's looking good. And then you want to bring that in and tie that in. Give yourself a bit of room up here for a reasonable thorax. So just bring that in, tie that in. Lovely, that's great. And then pull it tight. Excellent. Okay, cheeks for this this buzzer. We're going to be using a nice fiery orange goose bite. I'm going to take a couple of those and tie one on either side. I do like goose biots. They take a bit of varnish and they don't lose their colour. I find with a lot of Spanflexes, a lot of flexi flosses, etc., they can lose a fair bit of their colour when you put varnish on them, and these don't. They stand out, and I want this to stand out. So again, a couple of those, one other side, nice and yeah, lovely. And I'm also going to put, that one's just twisted around, that's a bit right. And I'm also going to put a little bit of flash on the back of the fly, on the top of the fly. So I'm just taking a little bit of number 14 Mylar. Just going to take a little bit of that, and actually going to pop that in on the head as a kind of a thorax cover. Just want to get that right in the centre. That's great. There we are, and that's in the centre of the head there. And then we're just going to build up your thorax. Nice and simple. Doesn't have to be massive. That's going to do me somewhere around about there. Then bring your thread to the front. I'm just going to bring the goose biots and finish them off one side of the eye and the other. One side, and up this side as well. That seems to have spun over. That's okay. Yep, that's fine. Just tie those in, trim them off. Nice. And then same with the pearl mylar, just bring that over the top of the head. Lovely. So it's nice, and you can see that's just sitting there nicely in between the biots. A couple of turns there, you can give this a little bit of a stretch and a snip. Like that, and then just finish off. Bring in and whip finish. Nice tidy little fly this. Fairly bulky, but I want it to be bulky because I'm going to be fishing this as a point fly on a caster buzzers, team of buzzers. So I want it to be the fly that gets down there first. That's looking really nice. That's nice. Got the proportions right. It looks good. So we're now going to give that its first coat of varnish. Your Sally Hansons hard as nails or whatever you like to use, but I don't think you can get any better than this. Hard as nails. And then just get in there, get a nice coat of varnish. This first coat will soak in pretty quick. I like to, on these particular flies, again because I want a bit of bulk and a bit of depth, a bit of weight, I like to give them at least 4 coats, sometimes 5 or 6 of them, sometimes on the big patterns up. I don't think you can get these too big. They really are, and they're meant to be a nice bulky fly. That's looking lovely. And a few more coats, that will really start to look like the grey boy we all know, but you can already see how that really brings that pearl out on the top as well. You know, that starts to reflect the light nicely. It's a lovely little fly, that is. Nice, good proportions, and an absolute fish catcher for all of the lakes at the start of the season. An absolute fish catcher. One of those on the point with a couple of crisp packets and up the droppers, or a couple of quills up the droppers. What a fly. Cheers folks, hope you enjoyed that, and if you did, click like and click subscribe, and any suggestions of what you'd like me to see me tie, please pop them in the comments section below. Cheers peeps, speak to you soon.